Hello and welcome back to my channel. As always, I am Matt from Cleveland Sex Therapy. I'm a licensed clinical therapist and certified sex therapist. Lately, you can probably see by the content of my last video, I've been really focused on putting out information and providing sex education around erectile disorder. As a penis owner myself, I know firsthand the impact of toxic messaging and poor sex education can have on other penis owners. For this video, I want to focus on toxic masculinity and why this sex therapist thinks it is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, contributing factor as to why individuals experience erectile disorder. First things first, let's define erectile disorder, or as you're going to hear me say throughout this video, erectile disorder, erectile dysfunction, or ED. All of them mean the same thing. Most people think that if you lose your erection one time that you are diagnosed with erectile disorder, when in reality, to be diagnosed, you need to fail to attain or maintain an erection 75% to 100% of the time when engaging in individual or partnered sex. Another key component of erectile disorder is that losing it or failing to get it must cause psychological distress to the individual. But whether or not you meet the full criteria of actually being diagnosed with erectile dysfunction, losing an erection even one time can be psychologically damaging for some penis owners. Understanding why it is happening will go a long way in solving this riddle, and hopefully this video will help you with that. So let's talk a little bit about toxic masculinity. In general, toxic masculinity can be defined as a set of attitudes that is culturally driven and promotes a way of behaving stereotypically associated with or expected of men. Basically, men must behave a certain way to be considered a man, or a penis owner must behave a certain way to be considered a man. Examples of toxic masculinity include domination, aggression, homophobia, lack of emotions, and arrogance, to name a few. Essentially, men feel as though they have to be tough and that they're in constant competition with other men, vying for the top spot of this competition that doesn't exist. Toxic masculine messaging can also lead to violence, whether internal or external. Although it is seen a little bit less due to the fact that our world has become a little bit better at understanding the flexibility of gender expression, the impact of toxic masculinity can still be seen today throughout our society and the media we consume. So how do these two intersect, and why do I think it may be the main cause of why you're experiencing erectile disorder? Well, first things first, I would be an awful therapist if I did not talk about some of the other leading causes of erectile disorder. For a more in-depth view, see my other video on tips for addressing erectile disorder. But getting back to some of the main causes of erectile disorder, they include low testosterone, cardiovascular problems, neurological problems, trauma to the pelvic floor area, anxiety, depression, poor exercise and diet, and side effects of medications, to name a few. Please, please, please make sure you consult with a doctor to rule out all of these other causes. But over my 6 years of being a therapist who works with penis owners who struggle with erectile disorder, I have found that a lot of the cause of why my clients are experiencing it is due to absorbing the messages they've received about toxic masculinity and how they have to be as a man in this world. When we are taught to be one way, domineering and self-sufficient, not showing weakness of any kind, when something like losing an erection occurs, it can make the penis owner feel desperate for a solution to solve. The problem here is that unlike solving other problems to masculinity, like getting bigger in the weight room if you feel too scrawny, or getting a higher paying job if you don't make enough money. Due to poor sex education and sex negativity, the solution is not that easily accessible, especially when you look at how toxic masculinity and sex are intertwined. Toxic masculinity teaches men that they must have a 14-inch penis, they must know what they're doing in the bedroom at all times, they must make sure their partner has an orgasm, and they must be extremely confident and know everything that's going on. This, along with the sex negative messaging that everyone must have an orgasm and there must be penetration for sex to be considered successful, puts a ton of pressure and sets way too many expectations and forgoes the main reason why we engage with sex, and that's to feel pleasure. There are so many men in this world that think their sole duty in sex is to give their partner an orgasm. And there are so many men in this world who worry that the size of their penis is too small. All of these thoughts are so damaging and can cause so much fear and anxiety that makes them lose their erections. So how do we go about changing it? Well, first, we need to get curious. Let's start by focusing on how you attained this messaging in the first place. In our field, we have what we call a sexological ecosystem. And what this is it has you sit and reflect on how did you learn any of this messaging? Think about what did you learn from family and friends? What did you learn in your culture? What did religion tell you about being a man? What did you learn in sex education, if you had it? All of this exploration allows you to create insight, which is the first step needed for change. From there, start exposing yourself to new ways of thinking. What if instead of focusing on an orgasm or the size of my penis, I focus on just enjoying the experience? What if instead of watching porn, which may make me feel inadequate, I start focusing on my own body and exploring my own arousal cues? Mindful masturbation, or self-stimulating without visual cues, is such a great way of getting in tune with your body again. Remember, you created these sexual scripts, so you can change them. Don't let the ideas of toxic masculinity make you feel like you have to be this macho, well-versed lover and take away from the pleasurable aspect of intimacy. You are more than just your penis, and sex is more than just penetration and an orgasm. Remember that the next time you feel anxious, and instead, focus on pleasure and enjoyment. All right, that's all I got. Thank you again for watching this video, and comment down below the impacts of toxic masculinity that you face potentially on a daily basis. And always, please like and subscribe. I love making this content, and it provides me such an outlet to give all of you sex positive messaging and sex education. Until next time.